when love is conditional, when we live with a kind of conditional love for ourselves, nothing that we do will ever be enough. We will always want to do more. When we remember that love is unconditional, when we remember that the love of God doesn't come with conditions, when we surround ourselves with people who love us unconditionally, we then can lean into the truth that we are already enough. We can remember who we really and truly are, that we don't need to be any more than what God has created us to be. This kind of love of self, this kind of awe at who we are, this isn't easy. And I don't want to pretend that it is, but I think this is why Paul says in verse 26, in the same way the Spirit comes to help in our weakness. We don't know what we should pray, but the Spirit himself pleads our case with unexpressed groans. I can't tell you what it is that you need to do to heal the things within you that maybe have caused you to have conditional love for yourself. For a long time, for me, that conditional love was premised on a particular kind of achievement in the academy, a particular kind of achievement of academic success, that I thought once I did this thing, once I wrote this book and I got this kind of niche famous, that's what Julia calls it, I'm niche famous. Once I got this kind of niche famous, people were inviting me to go to these conferences, then this group of folks in the academy, then they will see me as someone that ought to be included in their clique. I'll get to be in the cool kids club. And so that's what I did. I worked really hard, and I have done all this kind of stuff. And even after I finished doing those things, they didn't still want me in that space. And I realized I didn't really want to be in that space either. I didn't need their acceptance because the things I needed to heal, they gave me a sense of belonging, they gave me a sense of connection to who I was actually already there. That it was my identity that I found in my family, identity I found among my friends. It was the work that I've done in food and animal rights and the work that I've done in this space that's given me a sense of the truth of who I am. So I don't have to turn to them to feel love. I can be in a space where I know I belong and feel loved. This is what I mean when we say we don't know what we should pray, but the Spirit is praying for us. There's a way in which, even in the midst of this, I felt as though I was being led not only to this space, but to be with y'all. This was not an easy decision, but it was, I know, the right decision, confirmed for me in my ordination, in the ways in which I experienced a particular kind of transformation. I was like, no, this is where God has placed me and wants me to be. I was able to turn inward and hold that part of me that was seeking external validation from others, from the academy, from people that I thought I needed to be validated from. I was able to turn inward and hold that part of myself with compassionate care, with a way of feeling as though that I actually needed to love myself for the work that I was doing and be proud of what I've accomplished. When we do this, when we see ourselves, regardless of our identity, as worthy of being loved, we can see ourselves as beautiful. Then we will begin to feel ourselves, truly feel ourselves connected to the life that exists around us. We will literally see our community different. We will walk around the space that we're in different because we are comfortable in our own skin. For once, we know we live in this space and are moving in a place where we are supposed to be. And that connection that we have to the sacred, that connection that we have to ourselves opens us up to be connected to each other, to be able to look at the world with reverence and see how we are connected to it. We are not competing with it for God's love. We're not competing with it for love at all. Rather, we are all experiencing this love together. When we do this, we will recognize that we belong to the earth, that we belong to each other. We can marvel at the face of our neighbor with the same awe that we find in the beauty of nature. When we learn to see like this, when we learn to see with eyes of belonging, we will have learned to see with the eyes of solidarity and with non-human nature. We will have learned to see the holy in both the majestic and in the ordinary. We will learn to see that all ground is holy ground. Amen?